Paul. Yeah. For each of the departments of the United States of America, those cabinet seats of the executive branch, Department of the Treasury, yeah. Department of Defense, yes. The Department of Education, yeah. The Department of Homeland Security, yeah. The Department of Interior, ouch. That cabinet that is the president's cabinet, yeah. They're appointed to office because of the administration that's elected to office. This Constitution is for those that are the actual military. Yeah. They volunteered to enlist. Yeah. And they said they'd follow the orders of the commander in chief. Yeah. But they really do not need the consent of the White House when there's a public danger. Sounds weird, but they don't. Now, for the Department of Defense and the civilian secretaries there, right now, we do not allow for the occupying of the United States. Yeah. And I would tell the secretaries that are appointed to office that the United States military does not need your authority. Yeah. To make sure that no one occupies the United States of America. Now, they're going to look at all the different jurisdictions of the nation, and then I'm going to look at the Fifth Amendment. Yeah. And then I'm going to hold liable the generals and admirals of the U.S. military and its 5 branches for following the orders of secretaries. Just say right now! Well, we just can't do anything. Now, this public that has the right to the land of the United States, the secretaries do not have the authority that the military has when they've identified any group of individuals occupying any land. Yes, I know this is a frustration, but if you look in your actual law books there in the Department of Defense, yeah, the ASPR or the Secretary of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, yes, the civilian individuals, you need to really appreciate this idea that the military is to defend the United States of America. They do not need the consent of the civilian secretaries, yeah, that are going to tell them that they are not going to defend the nation. Now, the whole reason for the existence, yeah, of land and naval forces, yeah, and the individual state militias is we do not allow for the occupying of the United States. And ASPR and the individual secretaries that have your offices that are appointed to office, you can never tell the U.S. military not to defend the nation. No. Somebody's going to have to go in and remove the roadblocks. They're going to have to inform them that they will have to go back to their individual residences. And then if they want to have protests, they can do that. But after each of the individual protests, they need to return back to their individual residences. And then the next day they can do another one. Yeah. Now, what we did was, right now, we took occupancy of the United States of America. Now, somebody didn't tell them how to do a protest. You can do a protest, yeah, and you make sure that everybody hears what you have to say. Yeah, you don't violate any of the rights of the other citizens. Right. You don't destroy the property of individuals that have a right to their property. Yeah, and you never, Seattle Police Department, you never allow for the protesters to not understand. Yeah, what is the legal right to protest? You have a residence, yeah, and then you protest. Yeah, and then you go to your residence, and then you protest. You keep doing that back and forth until you get what you want. But you don't get to decide that you're going to move to the location of the protest, you idiot!